Welcome to the Celebrate a Sister podcast. I'm your host, Emma Walkinshaw, author, body confidence coach, and founder of The Embodied Woman and 21 Minutes of Morning Magic. You'll also find me on the yoga mat hosting retreats here in Australia and internationally. Each week, I chat with incredible women around self-belief, body acceptance, and embracing who we are, especially in midlife. We share real stories, challenge outdated beauty standards, and grow together through honest conversations. I am so glad you are here. Enjoy. A big warm welcome to the Celebrate a Sister podcast. Today I have my dear friend and my co-host, my co-facilitator of our Wholehearted retreats. So Yogi Loui is here joining me today, and we're going to chat about all things Kerala India retreat in November this year. Welcome, dear friend.
Thanks, Emma. I'm very excited for us to be talking about our amazing Southern India experience coming up in November.
Very, very excited. Now, Loui, for people who have not, you have been on the podcast before and we've talked lots, and people have seen us all over Instagram on our other India retreats. But are you happy to share for our listeners what you do and how you help women?
Yeah, for sure, Emma. I'm a biomedical yoga and meditation teacher and retreat host. So, very much in the space of women's wellness and uniquely combining the ancient practices with modern Western knowledge to have beautiful health and wellness practices that are specifically focused on women.
And they are beautiful practices. During our retreats, we do lots of different things, but Lou, you definitely bring your expertise and your healing to the space, and all of the women absolutely love that. I feel like it's an extra bonus that everyone gets. As well as exploring India, there's also that absolute personal touch, personal care, and healing that happens on our retreat in the most beautiful ways, very, very nurturing.
It's one of the things I love doing, Emma, is really holding space for our women on the retreats and just really caring for them. And for our women just to feel like, you know, they don't actually have to do anything. They don't have to think about anything. And, and just really helping them to feel connected, bringing them back to this beautiful place of connection in their hearts.
And I do acknowledge you and I for the fact that when a woman joins us on a retreat, from the moment she arrives at the airport in India, she does not pick up her bag again, and she has everything laid out for her. She doesn't have to think. And that is one thing that I think that we do incredibly well, and that has been the feedback. And I'm very proud of that. So thank you, dear friend and co-host, that we have most definitely kept our women at the forefront, and that is what we do exceptionally well. And I will say that with absolute pride, because we do.
Yeah, I mean, that's our intention. We want you to have nothing to do but just be. And in this incredible new experience that we're offering in Southern India, it's so different, isn't it, Kerala? So very different to our North India experience.
So for our listeners, Kerala, why did we choose Kerala? So when Yogi Loui and I were in India in March this year, we had the honour of flying our beautiful husbands to meet us. And then once the retreat finished that we'd hosted, we then travelled down to the south of India to explore this beautiful place, which we are holding a retreat in November, as we mentioned. And I had been there to the south of India. That was my first experience back in 2016. And when I seen Kerala back in 2016, I remember very clearly declaring that I would come back to India and hold retreats. And getting together with you and I both going, let's do this back in 2023, because our retreat was 2024, our first. So I knew that from 2016, knowing that I was definitely going to step foot back in India with a group of women, and that has come to fruition, which is absolutely incredible. So I thank past Emma for that. And I thank past Loui for saying, let's do it. And here we are again. So Kerala for me, 2016 was most definitely a wonderful experience, and hence we're running one again. So Lou, what would you say when we ended up in Kerala after we'd done North India and then we ended up in Kerala? What was your first impression? What do you feel is the essence of the place?
Well, the first thing I noticed about Kerala was its pace. And it is just this beautiful, slow, relaxed pace, because Northern India, it is quite full on, very busy, like they call it, that assault on the senses. Whereas I found Southern India just completely different. I mean, it's got that tropical feel with, it's the land of coconut. So there's just palm fringed waters everywhere. It's defined, its rhythm actually is defined by the water that it's surrounded by. So, and even the dress, like all the men are in their mondus, I think that's what they're called, their traditional like sarong type dress. Just so completely different. So for me, it was the rhythm, the slow pace. I just really felt like I could take a breath when I arrived in Kerala.
Yeah. It is incredible. It is an incredible place. So what we have planned is some wonderful experiences. And we were talking before about the difference between a retreat and a holiday and what we provide. And the retreat experience really is about transformation, joy, rest, and not just rest as in sleep, but deep rest of the nervous system and dropping all of the responsibilities that you usually have and resting from that. And I know it's a bit of a catchphrase at the moment, but from the mental load, the emotional load of, because as women, we run the house, we're the heartbeat of the family. We are the organizer, the events coordinator. So this is your chance to retreat and have a moment to drop all of that mental load. We've got you. We have absolutely got you, as opposed to a holiday where it is much about, and this is my words, how I would describe a holiday, which is about seeking entertainment and going from the next thing to the next thing and ticking all the boxes. Whereas, yes, we'll be ticking a lot of the boxes in Southern India. You'll be seeing it. However, it's from a different intention, which is about clarity, joy, reconnection, rest, wholesome food, nourishment, care. Lou, do you want to share with our listeners what they are going to expect from a receiving perspective? What will they be receiving?
So we really, we talk about that rhythm, and Em and I were very conscious about providing a restful experience. So we've made it as much as we can an opportunity for you to experience Southern India. So we want to make sure that you can see the amazing historical beauty of India and of that particular region as well, but also just provide a lot of opportunity for you to get out of that real fast-paced daily rhythm of life. So we start in beautiful Kochi, which is a historical town. You'll see, again, this is why it's so different from Northern India, which is it's probably more ancient. Whereas when we go to Southern Kerala, it's definitely got a more modern influence. So you can see where the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, the Chinese presence, because it was very much and still is part of the spice route. So you can see how these different civilizations have come through Kerala and left their mark. I found that fascinating, actually, in the architecture, and it's quite modern. Like, although when you go for little walks through Kochi, they've got really cool cafes and art galleries, beautiful colour. You can never escape colour in India, but it's just in a different way. We then go up to the mountains. So definitely where we are in Kochi, on the Arabian Sea there's a lot of obviously ocean front, but there's these amazing backwaters as well, canal systems. But then you can see in the distance, in the far distance, the mountains. So we head up to Mannar, which is the biggest tea growing area in India. And it's basically, that whole area is like the spice garden of India, and it's just this blanket of green. I think that's the other thing, Emma, I really noticed coming down south is how abundant and fertile the land is.
Lush.
It's so lush. So the green is just gorgeous. It's everywhere. You just see this beautiful green color everywhere, which is, by the way, really good for your nervous system. That color green, being in nature. So we head up to the beautiful mountains, and we've chosen the most beautiful spa retreat up there. They've got a beautiful temperature controlled infinity pool, and you just look out over the rolling hills of the beautiful tea growing area. So it's quite stunning, and a bit like we experience when we go to Rishikesh and see Mar Ganga. It's a bit like that. You'll have your breath taken away by that beautiful green rolling hill site of the hills of Mannar. And then we head back down to the beautiful backwaters of Kerala and spend 4 days immersed. And I think that's our real retreat experience. And Ayurveda is huge in India, but that is where it actually it's based from, is out of Kerala. So we have chosen a beautiful heritage style resort. So that's what I really love too, Em, is like there's a lot of wellness spots to choose from. Bali's very popular, and they've all got their place. And I think, unlike Bali, which is very bougie and probably very much got that Western influence come in, we wanted to make sure that we were giving our guests the authentic Ayurvedic experience. So we've chosen this beautiful heritage style. It's still luxurious, but in an authentic way. So it's very special, the Ayurvedic resort that we've chosen. We've got specialised Ayurvedic doctors there, and we've included a consultation with an Ayurvedic doctor and 3 beautiful treatments that you can have over those 4 days that we are staying in the resort.
And the food is exquisite. The resort is eco-friendly. They've done a lot. They're quite progressive, this beautiful place that we're going to, but I feel they really honour the Ayurvedic practice. This is all built. It's a complete. The location is completely beautiful. There is not a part of it that is not gorgeous. But like Lou says, it is that beautiful, authentic. So it's not influenced by the Western world. It is a unique experience. Lou and I also will be delivering our own workshops and our yoga and our morning practices along the way. And like anything, you do not have to be bendy or flexible. You do not have to be even a lover of yoga. It's just coming with an open heart and being willing to receive, because we do all the rest. You just have to have that open heart and receive. And all of our practices are optional. But like we've experienced on other retreats we're held, most of the women, if not all of the women, come to all of the experiences because we've not overfilled it. We've given you, I feel that we have got the perfect balance. And of course, I might sound biased here, but I've been on retreats myself. And I feel like Lou has also, and I feel we have both brought this beautiful balance of what I feel the midlife woman needs and what is really helpful for her nervous system. So I'm very, very excited for us to also roll out our program like we have, Lou, in the past, because it is nothing short of incredible. It is a really beautiful added part to our retreats, which I'm incredibly proud of. And Kerala is just divine. It really is a great location, incredible location. So, Lou, we know that from our own experiences when we have attended retreats, there has been some trepidation because we live in a world where we have so many responsibilities. Most of us have children. And even if you don't have children, maybe you have fur babies that are also, you know, your family. So, Lou, I know that when you attended your first retreat, some things come up for you. What were you feeling as a woman choosing to go on a retreat for the first time? What were some things that we talked about this before? Are you happy to share with what come up for you?
Yeah, well, definitely I felt, don't know if guilt's the word, but I did feel a little bit guilty just stepping away from the family. And oh, look, I was only away for a weekend, but it's just stepping away and just doing something for me, or without my husband, without the kids. So I know that was a massive step to just simply do that. Was incredibly a big thing for me. I remember that feeling like, oh my goodness, can I do this? And it really weighed heavy on me. But oh my goodness. So that all happened beforehand. But the minute I stepped in to the practice, to the retreat experience, I just knew that, I was exactly where I needed to be. And then the beautiful payoff, arriving back, I came back, I just felt completely rejuvenated, and I felt like I had so much more to give. So I really remember noticing that feeling like, oh, can I do something for myself? But then the payoff far outweighed, that feeling that I had. And now I don't even think about that, because I know I know that it's not a selfish thing to do. I think it's everyone benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. It's self-full. It's filling your
Yes,
own
you've got the
self.
good word
Yeah.
for that, Em. Yes.
Self-full. I
Yes.
remember the first retreat I went on. It wasn't the one to India. So the one closer to home relatively was in my comfort zone, but taking myself to India by myself, I didn't know anyone. I was meeting the retreat host there in 2016. And I remember feeling quite scared, quite fearful, because of course, particularly in 2016, I feel like we've started to, and I feel like you and I are very big advocates for India and saying it is safe for women to travel there. And there are some misconceptions around India, but it's no different if you're traveling anywhere. We always dot our I's and cross our T's and ensure that we are safe and well. We certainly don't take any risks. But I remember the fear of going, because a lot of comments from people around me were like, oh, are you really going to India alone? When are you meeting the people? So there was a lot of fear. Thankfully, my husband was like, you've got this, just be safe, you're going to be fine. And I remember when I came home, yes, felt like you did, felt like I had some time to rest, reset, inspiration, but I felt really proud of myself that I stepped out of my comfort zone and stretched myself because
Yeah, because I think the hardest thing is just
yeah,
saying yes.
is saying yes. Yeah.
I actually think that is the hardest thing in the experience.
Yeah.
But you just need to listen to that niggle. If there's a niggle, just trust in the yes, because truly you won't look back.
Yeah. And that was what it was for me. It was a little call when and people have heard me
Mm,
say this 100 times. I was
yeah.
listening to like a podcast. I mean, like this style, it was Hay House Radio then, which is podcast style, but it was like a radio. I used to listen to an app on my phone. And I had this like thing, you're going to India.
Mm.
And the rest is history. But you're right, it's saying yes,
That's the hardest
feeling
step. Yeah.
yeah, feeling the discomfort, but going anyway, just trusting
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And
Yeah, and we've taken care of everything, and we made the decision right from the get go that because it was India, we would take on a third party to help us just with organising all the logistics. So we do have a tour partner in India. And, definitely safety is always prioritised. And as you said, there's that first time to India, there were a lot of misconceptions that just weren't even true, you know.
yeah,
Um, and we've talked on that before, so we don't probably need to go back over it. But yeah, it's an exceptional place to
yeah,
step out and yeah, just relaunch back into life when you get back. And I've been speaking with some of the ladies who came with us just recently, and they've still got the India afterglow.
it is the gift that keeps on giving. And
Mm,
the connections that have been made are
yeah.
wonderful. It is so lovely to meet like-minded people and have such an incredible anchor of India and the experiences that you have there. So, for the woman who's listening, and perhaps she has got a little bit of trepidation, maybe she is thinking, maybe the word is guilt. How can I leave the family? It seems quite
Mm,
self indulgent. Perfectly normal to have those thoughts and
yeah.
feelings, but is it self indulgent to take care of you? I'm sure that no one's missing out. I'm sure I hear lots of stories of couples that now, and this is personally what my husband and I do, which is wonderful. I have some time for me in the year, a holiday for me, a retreat for me. He has something for him, and then we do something together. And then last year we also did something with the kids, but the kids have moved out now. So perhaps you could adopt that little, it's not self-indulgent. Everyone gets to win. No one has to miss out. Everyone gets their ideal holiday. Because quite frankly, my first few trips, Brendan was not at all interested in coming to India. And the women that we took to India recently, hearing some of their conversations, which some of them were the same, which was their partners didn't have an interest to come to India. And some of the women just saying how wonderful it is to travel with other women and not their husbands, even though it's wonderful to have a holiday with your husband, don't get me wrong, or your significant other, but it's really nice to just worry about yourself, which is really quite refreshing after many years of taking care of others. So if that's a little trepidation of yours, it's an invitation to perhaps say, you know what, maybe if he goes on a surf trip this year or a golf trip, maybe this is my trip. And then you do one together. I know that works for us. That could work. And if time is another factor, time is another interesting one. If we think about why is it that potentially I might not choose to come to India, maybe it's a time thing, but from my perspective, time's a bit of an illusion. And
You have time,
someday
trust me. You have time.
you have time, and someday may never arrive.
Yes.
Someday may never arrive. And I've
And
said,
when you're older, wiser women like us, Em,
yeah,
you know, that that's for sure. You definitely have time.
yeah, you do. You do have
Mhm.
time. And
Yeah.
even when it comes to finances and money, we do a beautiful payment plan. So Yes, it might take a little bit of dedication to say yes and then commit to some resources to a beautiful retreat for yourself. But again, it is doable. It is doable.
Mm.
We are here to support that. And I have also mentioned in the past about, and it's a very morbid thing to say, but I do say I've potentially maybe got 30 summers left, maybe 35. Who knows? It's the magic number. Who knows? It could be shorter, it could be longer. But if I think about my next 30 to 35 summers, where would I like to go? What would I like to do? Who would I like to spend my time with? And because I'm at this next part of next chapter of life, and it is about intentional living. And if this has got that little niggle in your heart, this potentially is you stepping into intentionally living, making your own path, choosing your own experiences, because we do get to choose our own adventure. We are white women living in a Western world where we have got so many privileges. So India is most definitely, if it calls to you, come and join us.
Mm.
Join us.
It's a divine feminine retreat. Beautiful time to step into yin, step into softness, step into receiving,
Yeah.
and most beautifully connecting back to yourself, connecting with like-minded women, connecting with nature, connecting to a harmonious flow, and just finding this vitality
Mm.
in you.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
And if you like a good laugh, you will not be short of a laughter on our trip. There's always lots of laughter and lots of fun. The energy is high. So, yes, my darling Louie, that is our retreat November 1st to the 8th of November in Kerala. The flights are relatively easy. Major cities in Australia, fly to Singapore, then Singapore to Kochi Airport. And then we will pick you up from there and come and join the retreat. But it is a relatively smooth flight, easy peasy. It's not difficult at all. So here is
I
the.
love Kochi Airport too, can I just say? You feel like
Oh,
you've stepped
yes.
back into the 70s. It's a little airport, so you're not overwhelmed there either. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a real soft, so if it's your first time to India, it's a soft landing.
Yes. And I am really looking forward to our Ayurvedic treatments. I am really looking forward to that component, as well as
Yeah.
all of the other beautiful things we've got planned. But I feel that is going to be wonderful, wonderful. And just the location
Incredible.
we've chose is beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a unique offering, and
It is unique. It is. And we don't know if we'll do it again.
yeah.
So, yeah.
We've got lots of other places we want to visit.
This is the thing, because we have got some other places brewing, to be honest. So we don't know if we will do this again. Who
I'm
knows?
excited about the Ayurveda side of things because I'm doing my Masters of Yoga Therapy. So there's a lot of Ayurvedic training in it. So to be in the heart, in the home of Ayurveda, for me personally, yeah, that's really exciting me to be in the home of Ayurveda. So,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful, the Ayurveda is the sister to yoga. So if you are a yogi, um, it is it's the next obvious step for you to start exploring the ancient science of Ayurveda. And it's a beautiful, like with yoga, it's just about living in harmony.
Yeah. Yeah. There is nothing crazy or demanding. It is a real blending of who you are, an extension of who you are, just opening up to it. Yeah. So, like I
Yeah,
did mention, you don't have to be this crazy yogi who can do headstands and be like a pretzel. It's just enjoying the yogic way of living, which is just that wholehearted and conscious living, intentional living is the way of the yogi, I feel. So, Lou, is there anything else we need to share with our beautiful listeners before we go?
my advice is just say yes.
Yeah. And the invitation, if you feel like you want to have a conversation with either Yogi Loui or I, reach out. More than happy to have a chat. If there's just a few questions that we haven't covered on our website, just reach out. We are open to having a chat and hearing your thoughts or anything that you need answered that we haven't. More than happy to. So reach out. But in the bottom of the show notes are all of the links that you can check out. And this is your invitation, my friends. Say yes to an adventure, an experience, retreat. Thank you, my darling Loui. Cannot wait for our November trip. Thank you, my love.
Thanks, Sam. See you soon.
See you.